Hello everybody! Hello and welcome in to Purple Penguin Craft Room. I'm Vicki. Today we're going to be doing a funnel Christmas tree. But you can do this as just like a funnel tree if you want to just do a regular tree, or you could do it a Valentine's Day tree, or patriotic tree, whatever you want. I am going to do it a Christmas tree style. Make it your own. I'm going to kind of go over some of the things I'm going to be using, and then we'll get started, okay? So, first thing we're going to need is these funnels. These were from the Dollar Tree. It's a pack of 3, so you get 3 different funnels. Looks like 2 are about the same size, and then the third one is smaller. So they're going to stack like so. So they will look like a tree. We are also going to be using a dowel, and this is a 1/4 inch dowel. You can get dowels like in a pack from like Walmart or any of the craft stores will have wood dowels. You can even get wood dowels at your home improvement stores as well. They do come, sometimes they come longer, sometimes they do have smaller packs too. So look around, you can always find dowels around. We're going to be using kind of decoration wise, a little Christmas package. How cute is that? From the Dollar Tree. I believe I've seen a few of them at Michael's and Hobby Lobby, that kind of thing. Kind of look around, but you don't need to use these if you don't want to. If you can get like a little foam block or a little even wood block, and you can like make it look like a package, that would be really cute too. And it's easy. You don't have to buy the pre-done ones. You can make your own. I am going to be using, this is like confetti. But they're little snowflakes. They come in different colors. These are blue, gold, or blue, silver, white, that kind of thing. We're going to be using some of those. We're going to be using 1 star, and this is a wood pack. This is a little wood star. I believe it's a little over an inch. It's probably a little over an inch wood star. This one I just happened to get from Dollar Tree. It just says wood shape. There's 14 of them in here. Doesn't specify the size on them. I'm willing to bet. Let me. So it's an 1.5 inches. I was pretty close. 1.5 inches wood star, but look around. You can always cut out your own at a cardboard or foam board if you don't want a wood one. We're going to be using some fabric for tree skirt. Whatever fabric you have around will work. For the base, we're going to be using some Jenga blocks. We're using some Jenga blocks. There are plenty of alternative bases you can use, foam or, whatever. Use your imagination. It's totally up to you. And then we're going to be using some trim. This is actually yarn. It's yarn. I got this at Walmart, actually, but it's a soft, fluffy yarn. So we're going to use that as kind of a trim as well. So, ready? Well, let's get started. Right. To get started with this, we're going to start with some paint. These are going to be our tree, so we're going to stack them. So we're going to want to paint them. I want to go ahead and probably use them a chalk paint as a base coat, simply because it is plastic, and if you just use acrylic on it, it could just chip off. I found that the chalk paint actually sticks a little bit better. We're going to use the Waverly green one. This is actually called Scallion green, which is kind of like a limey kind of green. And we're just going to start painting away. Like I said, this is just going to be the base. This is not going to be what color my tree is originally going to be when it's done. But we're going to use this as our base. It definitely helps the acrylic paint stick on there much better. You want to make sure you paint olive. Paint all of the tree pieces. Like I said before in the beginning of the video, you could definitely make this any kind of tree you want. Does not have to be a Christmas tree. Okay, and we're going to paint all of those and let them dry, and I'll come back and I'll show you the acrylic one. So we are also, while we're letting that paint dry as well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to paint our wood piece. Right now, I'm not too sure about how long I need it to be, so I'm going to kind of paint quite a bit of it, and then we'll cut it later. Just kind of how it's going to work here. We're going to use this brown. I'm going to use a brown, but you know, you can use, you could totally use a, just a green too on the brown, or on the trunk of your tree. I do kind of like to look like a trunk of my tree. So like I said, we're going to do a good portion of it, even though we're definitely not going to use this much of it. Okay, so these were all painted and dried. This was with the acrylic paint, or the chalk paint. Now we're going to come in with the acrylic paint, and this is green. It's Kelly green. It's called Kelly green from Deco Art. So it's a kind of a little bit darker green, but it's not super dark. I think it gives it really nice, it's a nice color green versus the kind of an alien green. So I do want this to kind of have a pretty finished look to it, so I'll probably do 2 coats just to kind of take away all the lines and make it look good. Okay, these are all painted now. They do have 2 coats on them, so we're looking pretty good, and I was kind of wanting them to have a little bit of definition going on. I decided, executive decision, Christmas green, which is a darker green. This is going to be a darker green, and we're going to kind of, so it's not like super dark, but it is darker than this color, and we're going to take a sponge. This is just a makeup sponge, or you can actually get a real sponge and just do like pieces of a sponge, but we're just going to dip this in, or, oh, our paint's a little dry here. Let's get another, let's get some more paint in there. Sorry about that, guys. All right, we're just gonna sponge it on and just be random. Just gonna kind of sponge, and we're just gonna kind of see. It's not like you can really tell a lot on it, but it makes a little bit of a difference here. All right. We're just going to do that to all 3. Just so that it's not just a plain old solid color green. I'm going to add a little bit to it in each one. You might want to, if you've ever done the crackle effect, that might be kind of cool on this as well. If you did kind of a lighter green like we did for the first coat, and then did this darker green with the crackle finish on the outside, that might look kind of fun too. Okay, the paint's all dry, so you can definitely see how it's got that 2-toned effect on it. Really cool looking. All right, we're going to start assembly. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to put our bottom pieces on our trunk here. And then we'll put our top piece on here. So I want the top piece to go here. So I think what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and put some glue in here and then push the funnel on top of it. So if that makes sense. So we're going to put the funnel to where it's, so that's where it's all the way in. We're going to go to where it's about halfway in there. Now we're going to put some glue in here. Put it as far down as you can. and then we're going to push it down so that it's really in there. Hopefully that stays. So it's got the glue in there like so. Now I'm going to just push this other one into it in there. Just going to dribble the glue in there, and hopefully it falls down into place there. This is a high temp glue gun, so it is kind of actually dribbling a little bit, so that's kind of good. We want to also make sure that our tree stays upright, not super crooked. Alright, we're just going to hold this upside down just for a little bit to let that dry in there. Gonna get rid of some of those glue webs floating around. So that is really starting to look good. And a cute little tree is super cute. Super cute, right guys? Super cute. I think that's pretty dry. Alright. What I forgot to paint my star. Because we are going to put the star up here. I'm going to go ahead and paint that. We're going to paint it yellow. And this yellow is school bus yellow. School bus yellow. That's the yellow we're going to be using on this. I'm not worried about painting the edges. Looks like it was laser cut. And so the edges are already a darker color because it was burnt. So I'm kind of leave that. I kind of like the look of the darker edges. So we're going to leave that and just paint the top and the back because it will hang over and so you will be able to see some of it. We're going to paint the front and the back. Let that kind of dry for a second. Okay. Now, let's come back to our tree here. Okay, we're good and set up. Okay, now we need to cut it off at a certain point. First, let's do our base. We're taking 4 Jenga blocks to make our base. And what we're going to do with the Jenga blocks is we're going to create like a square. We're going to create a square. So they're going to be 2 in the bottom and then 2 here. And that's going to be, but then we got to decide how much of this tree we want to see. I'm kind of thinking probably about here. I'm guesstimating all this out, so that's probably going to be where we're going. I'm actually going to take, I've got wire cutters, or snips, or whatever. You can cut this with whatever you want. They have little hand saws. I do have a little hand saw somewhere, but I'm just going to cut that with wire cutters. It's easy peasy. So that's probably roughly about 2 inches. It's probably from this point to this point. Probably, let's see if I'm right on this. Yeah, it's roughly it is. I'm pretty good. So this is about 2 inches from this point to this point is about 2 inches. So altogether, this dowel looks like 7.5 inches long. 7.5 inches from here to here is the actual dowel size. All right, and I'm not gonna worry about painting this because actually we're gonna do a little tree skirt over it, so you won't see it anyways. So it's okay. So we need to go ahead. I'm just dry fitting this for right now. Then we will glue it down to hold it in place here. I'm going to start with gluing one side. So it's not going to be a perfect square. Not going to be perfect square. It is going to overhang a little here and overhang a little on each side here. But you can make you can do a base however you want to do your base. It's totally fine, however you want to do it. Okay, now we're going to try. We're going to strategically go glue, glue, glue. Put it here. Try and be quick about this. Right. Oh, try not to glue my paper here. Not too late. Something happened. And we're gonna ton of glue around the base. I let it drip it down a little bit there. Okay, so that's our tree base. That's kind of cute, right? Cute. It's still drying a little bit there. I'm making sure it's going to be extra secure. I'm going to glue some more here on the bottom. Doubly make sure that's going to stay put. Okay, so I did the extra glue down here, so we are good to go. Looks like our star is dry, so I want to decide where I want the front of this to be. And then we're going to just glue it on the top here. So there's the, how cute is that, right? So cute. Now we want to decorate. We're going to decorate our tree now, right? So we're going to go ahead with a little tree skirt. So we're just going to take some fabric and I'm pretty sure basically what we're going to do on this, we're just going to make a circle. I'm just going to cut out a circle, and that's just going to be our little tree skirt here. I'm going to cut out this square here with the lines already for me. Pretty convenient. I don't always measure things, so this works out. Now what we're going to just cut, find the center here. Right there, that's going to be our center. Kind of slit, so it's going to be just like a regular tree skirt, just like so. But we're going to glue it around the top here. that. Now we want to determine how much of an overhang we kind of want and what kind of style. I don't want a circle since it is a tree skirt. We're just winging it. We're just making a circle here. This is your tree, so definitely wherever you want to do it. So cute. But I didn't take into consideration the screezer slip should be in the back, and it's not. It's actually on the side of the tree here. Sorry about that. We're going to go ahead. I think I'm going to put some glue on this here, so maybe you won't be able to notice so much with the pattern. See? Oh, look, you can't tell. It's great. Even it up a little bit here. So this is a little bit stiffer fabric. I wish it was more flowy fabric so it would kind of drape down a little bit more. I'm kind of thinking that if we put some of this, maybe it will weigh it down and help hold it down. So that's the plan here. We're going to start from the back, and we're just going to go around the edge here. This is yarn. I can't tell you what the name of it is because I don't have the thing, I don't have the label for it anymore. But I did get it at Walmart, and it is just a fluffy yarn. And you can use whatever you want as your trim. You don't have to use this specific one. This makes a really cute tree skirt, though. It is not Chanel. I do know for a fact it is not Chanel. So when I do cut into it, it doesn't shred or start falling apart like the Chanel product would. I do know that much. So I will say that much. See, because you know, like if you were doing, if this was Chanel and I cut it and then I start pulling it like this, it would all start falling apart. This stuff doesn't. So it's way better. But it's really soft like it though. And I guess if you glued the end really quickly, you might be able to get away with Chanel if that's what you wanted to do, of course. All right. That is so cute. And it does weigh it down a little bit, so it's excellent tree skirt. Cute. All right, let's decorate our tree now. Oh, we do have a little present. So the blue kind of really doesn't go very well. Let's go with just the red. The red was too much with this. So let's do a silver one. I think I want to do a silver one. The bows on these are a little bit wild and crazy. Let's just pull those in a little bit here. You can tighten them down. They're not so wild and crazy. We'll put a little package underneath. And we've got a little package. And you can do a couple if you want to do a couple of them. I'm just going to do one. And then we're going to do snowflakes. Instead of ornaments, but you can definitely do ornaments on your tree. Like get little, you know what would be cute? Little beads. If you got little round colored beads for ornaments, like those would totally work. I'm just going to use these little, they're almost like sequins. They're in the same aisle as the sequins, but they don't have holes in the middle. So they're almost like confetti. And we're going to put these on. I'm not going to use hot glue. We are going to use tacky glue for this because the hot glue is, we're going to, might get a little too hot for this. So we're just going to do tacky glue. It will look white at first. When it dries, it will dry clear, so you won't be able to see it. However, if you don't like still the fact that it's still not super clear, you can get the clear. They do have clear tacky glue as well. I recommend using tacky glue instead of hot glue for these, just because you're not going to burn your finger. It's a little bit easier. These come in blue, silver, and white. We are just going to pick out all the little white ones. Just going to do the white ones on this. Maybe we could probably mix in some silver ones, I guess. The silver would go with that little package that we've got underneath the tree there. I'm going to go all the way around just because it will look more finished. Alright, how about for time's sake, I will just go ahead and do the front here so you guys can see it, and then I will do the rest off camera. Now you can get super fancy with this. Go all out. You want to get little garland to put on it. Like that would look really cute too. Like I said, I'm pretty simple, so I like things simple. Not too frilly. But you could also, if you wanted to make it a little fancy, you could do lace off the side of this, on the edges. Kind of fun. Okay, one more here. Show you finished tree here. It's absolutely perfect. So you can't really even tell that they are funnels. So we went from funnels, these 3 funnels from Dollar Tree. You can get any kind of funnels. And we have ourselves a little tree. Alright, definitely keep coming back and seeing more crafts at Purple Penguin Craft Room. Let other people know that you found me at Purple Penguin Craft Room, and happy crafting.